Previously on Plotty Time.
You'd play the game for 700 hours and still be like singing along to the Mario underwater level music. Are we led to believe that at this point there's this huge area on this planet that just no one's been to? So what happens when we finally get to the vault?
Steel opens it. Boom.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Plotty Time, the podcast where we three gamers discuss video game stories in detail with all the necessary and appropriate backlash. On one side of the table, we have Chump Slap.
Blue has the most antioxidants.
And on the other side of the table is Dr. Syintist.
Did you ever eat a chili dog while on the back of a motorcycle?
My name is Poppascotch, and as I always say, shoot a nuke down a bug hole. You got a lot of dead bugs. Welcome to Plotty Time.
It's such a fantastic movie.
Oh, it's so great. I could just do the rest of the quotes this year of just that movie, and it'd be fine.
Rico's Roughnecks.
I'm doing my part. They'll keep fighting, and they'll win. I'm telling you guys, if this doesn't work out, I'm going into broadcasting.
You kill it.
But first up, as always, Poppascotch's Correction Crevice. Week 2 in a row, we nailed it. We're completely perfect again.
Well, it was like 54 in a row before that last one.
That's true. And all those were my fault. I think we should keep a tally. If so, I think I have about 60% of the ones we screwed up. Probably.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But hey, we play our cards right. We'll have some new correction crevices for you next week. I said tomorrow. There's the first one for next week. Great. All right.
I fucked up saying correction crevice.
Correction
I fucked
cross.
up saying correction crevice. It should be next week, not tomorrow. I'm sorry. Anyway, so let's get into our normal start. What'd we do this week? And we're going to start with you, as we always do, Dr. Syintist. What'd you play? What'd you watch? What'd you do? What's going on?
Well, I watched a bunch of the Resident Evil movies.
Ooh.
Awesome. Which ones? Give us all the details.
Like 4 or 5 of them. Does it really matter? They're all the same. They're all good.
Did you see the one? I forget which one it is, but it's the one where they're in like those simulated towns or whatever, or different worlds in that shield bubble thing.
Yes.
Which one was that?
I don't remember what their names are.
I know it's very
Armageddon.
difficult.
I know I watched the first one, and I watched the one where like she's riding a motorcycle. I think that's the last one.
Doesn't she always ride a
I
motorcycle?
don't think so.
Was she in the desert? Was that the desert one?
Yeah, with all the zombies chasing.
Okay, that was Extinction.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think I watched the 3D one. Not in 3D, but...
Last one I watched was when they shut down the town and she had a little kid with her.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the second one.
There's like 20.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and the names, they got to do a better job
It's
of
like
that.
Apocalypse, Ragnarok, Dead End, Afterlife.
We all make fun of movies for like when they get into the higher numbers, like Freddy 8 or whatever. But now I think there's kind of a use for that. Like if the Resident Evils were numbered, I'd be like, oh yeah, 8 was the one with the town that they were going in and blowing up or whatever.
And the only way you know you watch them in order is if you see the year they were released.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
And then the titles are so they're repetitive.
Yeah.
Movies are amazing. Titles, we could do better at that. Just saying. Just, there's room for improvement.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I finished the Borderlands DLC.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How was the boss?
Not bad. Not bad at all. I figured out why the dogs were killing me all the time. Because they kick grenades back at you.
That makes sense.
Those assholes. Yeah. So you throw grenades and they just kick them back towards you.
And like I had the homing ones and they would just kick them. And they'd like roll across the ground and I didn't notice it at first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so when you play a new one and you fight the dogs, don't throw grenades.
What if you threw like a transfusion? Would it suck your health out or would it still go after them?
They kick it before it explodes.
I don't think transfusions explode, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't use transfusion.
Oh, it's weird.
I was using the hexes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Remember in like I think it was 2 when the transfusions were so overpowered?
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
There was no reason to use anything else.
I always use typo negative in Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I played Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, never heard of it.
Me neither. How was it?
It was good. It was good. It's an indie game, like set Norse mythology.
Side scroller,
By Ninja Theory. No, it's a 3D kind of.
hack and slasher.
Kind of.
Metroidvania?
God glory.
It's not a Metroidvania.
You try.
Pretty linear. But it was good. It's about a woman she's trying to save her loved boyfriend, I guess, from hell. And you go and you fight.
Oh, so it's the opposite of that. Every other, where they're saving their girlfriends from hell, like Dante.
Yeah,
cool.
It was a good one. If you ever find it for free, I guess pick it up because you don't want to pay for it.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, I would. I did pay for it, but you wouldn't.
It's true. It's got me pegged.
And I started the Control DLC.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I did the same thing. I didn't get very far, but what do you think of it so far?
It's Control. There's parts of it that are awesome, and then you get to parts that are just frustrating. And the enemies. What do you think of the new enemies? Fucking annoying, right?
Dude, which are the new enemies? Because I find myself dying a lot.
The ones that teleport around and throw pickaxes at you.
Oh, those fuckers, yeah. Those are very annoying. And then whenever you finally beat those, some sniper guy just kills you from across the room, and you're like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds fun.
It's Control. And I got to this side quest I played before I came here for about 2 hours, and I died about 5 minutes into it every single time.
Really?
Yeah. I went from like 300,000 of the money down to like 50 something. I was like, that's it. I got to hang this up and
Jesus.
go record this podcast.
Yeah, I played it a little. I want to get back to it, but I actually got sidetracked with...
The Division 2.
No, I haven't played it yet. We'll get into it. What else did you do? Let's start there.
I just played those and worked.
All right.
Yeah.
Watch anything fun? Like maybe any Netflix documentaries that recently came out?
No.
No, nobody watched Tiger King.
Yeah.
Damn it, I really want to talk about it.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yeah, of course I did.
I've heard good things. I've heard terrible things.
It is... Well, are you into that documentary style, like the staircase, and not so much content, but the style?
Kind of. Evil Genius was good, but I didn't like the staircase.
Okay, so it's kind of in the same style as Evil Genius, but it's more insane. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. These people are all out of their goddamn minds.
Yeah, all I know is he was on Joe Oliver and he ran for president. John Oliver.
Yeah, they did incorporate that into the documentary a little bit.
I heard he was a meth head.
Well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's meth use, there's murder for hire plots, there's euthanizing of tiger cubs because they got too old to be cute, supposedly. Cults, harems, like it is crazy.
Huh. Interesting.
So why don't you tell us about it and tell us what you did?
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what else you did this week?
Great. Okay, so I watched Tiger King. It was interesting. It's popping right now.
You definitely recommend it then?
I would for sure. Yeah,
Alright,
it's.
cool.
If you weren't stuck at home, would you recommend it?
I think so. I think it's entertaining. I mean, even if you're not that big into documentaries, the story is so ridiculous. It's like, if someone wrote that as a Hollywood movie, you'd be like, dude, that's bullshit. There's no way this much crazy shit is happening at this one place.
Fair.
But I would recommend it. I watched that, and I also watched a movie I hadn't seen since I was a kid.
Oh,
And
let's guess.
Monster Squad.
Oh, that's a good guess.
No.
Short Circuit 2.
God damn, no. I wish I watched that, though.
Never ending story.
No.
What's the
You guys aren't going to get it.
City Slickers 2.
Oh,
The Quest
you nailed
for Curly's Gold.
You nailed it. Great job.
Little Monsters.
No. Are we done guessing?
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred.
You should have just watched City Slickers 2.
I know. Well, now I didn't think about that, you know. But it was
Doesn't
I don't know,
hold up.
man. No, I mean, you look. It doesn't hold up. I mean, it holds up as much as an Imaginary Friend movie can hold up. Also, I completely forgot Carrie Fisher was in that as Phoebe Cates' friend.
Also, I was close with Little Monsters, Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
Pretty close, yeah.
Interesting.
Except, one's like an actual monster / I don't know.
That's just an unimaginative kid.
Either way, I watched that. It holds up. It is fucking weird. And I got into a conversation about is Fred real or is he not real? Because it doesn't make sense. Because sometimes he interacts with the real world, and sometimes no one can see him ever. I don't know. It was very
So it's very Sixth Sense-ish.
Very philosophical conversation.
yeah. You could get into a very big philosophical
How high were you
question.
when you had this conversation?
Not at all, actually.
I saw a good tweet and it just said, it had like officer : how high are you? And it said, no officer, it's high. How are you?
Nice. Oh, that's good. But yeah, go see Drop Dead Fred. Other than that, I played the Control expansion a little bit. I plan to go back to it, but I got sidetracked by playing this week's game.
That's why I watched the movies.
Yeah, I just did a run of it. We'll get to that in a second. But the other thing I played, also I guess part news, is that Call of Duty released Modern War... Oh, I guess it's not Call of Duty. The people who own Call of Duty released Modern Warfare 2, the campaign remastered, out of nowhere. They just were like videos started showing up on YouTube, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like, oh, it's in the PlayStation Store. Go buy it.
So you bought it? I thought it was free.
No, I bought it. It was like $30 for the campaign.
Just the campaign?
For like, what, 8 hours?
8 to 10. Plus, I'll platinum it, so
Oh, fair enough.
You'll numb it.
I'll probably get like 20 hours of it. And it's one of those games I'd go back to and revisit once in a while because it was, if we're talking about Call of Duty games, it was one of the best. So
That's fair. I'll give it that.
Well, one of the best campaigns or one of the best games?
it had one of the best Call of Duty campaigns.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually makes sense.
Is that the one where you're walking through the airport?
Yes.
Yeah. With the terrorists.
Yeah.
Yep,
There
that's
was a
that
big
one.
stink about it back in the day.
Oh, I don't know why.
I mean, you're just.
Damn liberals.
I love the argument to it. Like it's a part of the story because you're undercover and you're part of this operation, and then the other guys know you're an American, so they murder you to be found, and that's what starts like World War III. So it's an important part of the story. It happens, and I love how the defense was, well, you don't have to mow down all these civilians.
Yeah.
Like, you can beat the mission without firing your gun.
Did you ever see the show Sleeper Cell?
I have not.
It's a good show. You should watch it.
Sound like that? We have to kill civilians?
Well, it's about a guy who's undercover in an Al Qaeda terrorist cell in the United States. Like they're a sleeper cell, and he's part of it.
Really?
What's it on?
I'm pretty sure I saw it on Netflix, but I don't know if it still is. I saw it like 10 years ago.
It's fair.
Interesting. I'll take a look. Other than that, that's all I played this week. So now what everyone's really waiting for.
The shitty Chump Slap movie.
Sir Chump Slap, what'd you watch, play? What's going on over there?
Well, I played Doom some more. I think I'm almost at the end right now.
Hectic.
Yeah, but there's this one enemy that it's such a pain in the ass. And he's like the boss of one level. And then, you know how they do. He's in every fucking battle in the next level.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So I died a whole bunch and I turned it off. Since then, I haven't touched it.
Is it the axe guy? Because I saw people
Yes,
playing it.
The Marauder.
Yeah. He does look annoying.
Yeah. Chucks axes, throws dogs at you, has a shield.
Throws dogs.
Well, not throws them. He summons them, and they fucking chase you down.
I was totally going to buy the new Resident Evil 3 game that dropped, and I was like, dude, I barely played Doom. I have so many games on my list, and I completely forgot I still have to play through that campaign.
Yeah, you do. And once you get to the Marauder, make sure we all know how you did.
Okay. I will be very vocal.
Yeah, that's all I really played, but I watched a whole shitload of movies.
Oh.
Really?
On unemployment?
Yeah.
Well, like what?
City Slickers
Well,
2.
I wish.
That'd be great. That'd be great if you just read your list of the movies you watched.
I watched. Do you guys see the Mandela Effect movie where the guy just gets obsessed with the Mandela Effect
The one with Jim Carrey?
No.
I just made that up.
Yeah, obviously.
You're thinking of 23. It's a totally different movie. I've heard of it, but I know nothing about
What's
it.
called?
What?
The movie. Is it just
It's called Mandela Effect.
I saw. Yeah, I've heard about it. I just didn't.
It's like his kid dies, and then he's like, "Oh, maybe we're in a different reality." He goes through this whole thing.
Is it better than the X-Files episode?
No,
Oh, okay.
obviously.
Yeah, it's a dumb
But
question.
it's okay. It's not great. I watched Look Away. It's about this high school girl who gets bullied and has low self-esteem or whatever. So she looks in the mirror, and there's like an evil one
Of her?
of her, and they like swap spots,
I saw that.
and it goes around killing people. And
Awesome.
it wasn't that great. I mean, it's a lot of gory deaths and stuff. That was cool, but that's about it.
Okay.
Watch this movie called Snatchers, where this
You like the eggs?
not Snatch.
Oh.
It was us that wanted a caravan.
It was 5 minutes ago. But it's about like a high school senior gets pregnant, and then the next day she gives birth to like this alien.
Awesome.
It's fucking weird, but it's comedy horror type. It was okay. I'd say check that one out. Blow the Man Down. You guys hear about this one? It's a Amazon original about these two girls that live in a like fishing village, accidentally kill somebody and then try to cover it up.
Is it like based on a true story?
It very well could be,
Oh.
but it's
No one's talking about it.
because they get away with it, you know.
Yeah.
It was good. It was probably the best movie I
So
watched.
kind of
this
like
week.
Thoroughbreds?
I never really watched Thoroughbreds, but yeah, it sounds like it. I know what Thoroughbreds is. You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, that's about right.
Never saw it, but yeah, you're dead on.
All right. On to the next movie. It's called Ravers, about a botched energy drink. They pass out at a rave, and it turns
That can't be
everyone
right.
into these zombies or something.
Oh, I might have watched it if it wasn't a zombie movie.
Well, they're not really zombies. They just like it's something about
They're just corporate lackeys.
testosterone overdose, and they just get ragey and it was so.
Isn't
bad.
that just the plot of iZombie? I'll answer the question. You guys didn't watch that. Yes, it is. There's literally a poisoned energy drink that makes zombies happen on a cruise.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that multiple times. It's like a cabin in the woods type movie nowadays, you know?
Yeah. But you'd recommend it? It was amazing?
No, it sucked.
Okay.
It wasn't even good for me. It's very it's a slapper, but it's not the slapper of the week, which goes to Relaxer.
Is it about a poisoned muscle relaxant?
No,
would
this
be
one was
great.
fucking crazy. It's about this kid who lives in his brother's house, and his brother's always making him do like challenges.
Like the coconut challenge?
He tried like drink milk and not piss and stuff like that. But he has a challenge to beat the 256 level of Pac-Man.
The one that can't be beaten?
Yeah. So he's like, and he can't get off the couch. So he's just sitting on the couch through the whole movie trying to beat this level, and it gets fucking
He
insane.
probably grows into the couch, doesn't he?
Kind of. He's dying of thirst, and he's trying to like open a window and get a cup to get rain and shit. And then it gets
Dude.
insane.
Oh, then it gets...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Just wait until they have all these fucking quarantine isolation movies that are going to come out from fucking shitty artists now.
But
They're writing their screenplays.
it was like the slappiest thing I've seen in a long time.
Would it possibly... Is it in the running for the Slapper of the Year?
So far, yeah, I'd have to say
right.
it is.
Still very early. A lot of movies to watch.
Should have been the
before we
man-eating
start.
sofa in that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's in a That's in the run.
Well, we don't want to spoil it for all the listeners, but you know.
I'd say this one ekes it out.
It's only April. I mean, he's got
This one goes above and beyond anything I've seen this year. So
check it out, everybody.
yeah, check it out. Tell me how bad of a choice it was.
All right, so that will take us to video game news / entertainment news / stuff.
Is any of it good?
I have 3 pieces of news. One's a rumor, one's speculation, and one's some bullshit no one cares about.
That's not news.
None of that is news.
Yeah, we're going in that order, too. So, first one is the rumor. There was a semi-credible leak about the new Resident Evil game. It's supposed to be a completely different game, revealed supposedly coming this month, and it's supposed to be a massive departure from the rest of the series that will leave fans probably pretty mad about Resident Evil, but they should come around because it's supposed to be a good game.
The new one? Or the one that was just out?
No, number 8 or
Oh, I thought you said 3.
the one after 7.
Oh.
That's the rumor. Supposedly, sometime in April, they're gonna do the official release and stuff like that.
So that sounds like a terrible rumor.
It's all a battle royale.
That'd
Might be a game that people don't like.
Good rumor.
Now the rumor is just it's a complete departure from the rest of the series,
Top down, dual stick shooter.
and apparently it's been in development for up to 3 years. They said the end of 2016 it started development.
When was 7 out?
Probably
That's been a
about
while.
15, 16.
It's not that. I didn't know if it was 16 or 17 or 18, but
I think it's 17. It's been a while since Resident Evil 7 came out, and that was fucking great. And that was first person, which they never did.
Oh, so now they're going to do something different.
side
Possibly.
scroller.
That would be quite a departure.
Fourth person.
Oh.
It's just going to be like Command and Conquer style, like RTS type game. Anyway.
Second person.
All right, now give us the bullshit. Or wait, no.
Rumor, hearsay? Is that
Hearsay,
what you said?
yeah.
The hearsay is there's reports coming out about Borderlands 3, Studio Gearbox not paying out the bonuses to all the developers.
Okay, so
Oh.
Well, the idea was that they have a bonus structure, and supposedly Gearbox pays a little bit less than the other video game companies, but they offer a profit sharing program.
Okay.
And basically, to recruit people for Borderlands 3, they used the stats from Borderlands 2, some of which we're talking like 6-figure bonuses for people, like just programmers and whomever. So they used that as a selling point to recruit people for Borderlands 3, and then ended up paying them a shitload less. Than what was
Sounds
to
like
be
corporate
expected.
America.
and a global pandemic shutting down the economy.
Right, but the thing is, 2K described it as a $1 billion global brand, and they basically used that to lie to employees to get them for cheaper.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Allegedly.
The management lied to their employees.
I believe it.
That doesn't happen in America.
I know. We need smaller governments, guys. That's the way to fix this. Because, companies, there's a couple scamps out there, but they're the good
Yes,
guys.
definitely. And they're definitely people, too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so let's tell us some news that you at least know is kind of true.
Oh.
This news I do know is true, and it's a bunch of nerd bullshit only nerds care about. So, Magic the Gathering! A card got changed.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Can't
we
wait to
hear about
pull it.
this? A card called Space Godzilla Death Corona got its name changed to Space Godzilla Void Invader.
Yeah. It's going to be a hot commodity. I'm going to buy that shit right up.
Yeah, you're probably not going to be able to afford it when it comes out.
No, probably not.
It is an oncoming kaiju expansion set,
Sort of.
Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. The first
Shit,
printing run features a Space Godzilla Death Corona card, and now they've officially switched it, so that's probably going to be a pretty rare one out there, I'd say, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about new guys? I specifically put this in
Yeah.
so you guys could
You
start
hate when we
talking
talk
Magic
about
cards.
Well, we're in the middle of the spoiler
Spoiler
season
season, yeah.
right now, so
Commander decks are looking pretty sweet.
yeah, I'm not really excited. Except for those sweet Godzilla box toppers.
Zixar is pretty cool.
Can't wait to pull a Death Corona and turn around and sell it.
And the Elemental Otter was banned already in Commander, so that's...
Shit, yeah.
I was just waiting for you guys to just be done. All right, we'll move on. No more. All right.
You don't have anything to say about it?
I think it's rad, and I like the card art. It looks like a big kaiju. It's neat.
Shit, yeah, it is.
It's like that Lone Gunman episode about people hijacking airplanes and crashing into towers. You'll never see it again.
Exactly. It's going to be poof.
I don't know if that's a winning strategy. Do you think that would work?
Maybe 20 years ago.
Any hoodles.
Well, didn't they delay like the Marvel movies again?
Probably.
Yeah, I think they picked a new release date for Black Widow.
Yeah, it's like in September now or something.
Yep. Last of Us 2 got delayed indefinitely, so we have no idea when that's coming
That's
out.
great because now I don't have to pay for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that one.
And speaking of Magic cards, that set got delayed a month.
Yeah.
Release.
Good times.
Yeah, you love it.
I just wish I didn't have to work. I'm a chump, it seems like.
Sure are.
All right, so that's all I got for news. How about we get into the game this week? How does that sound?
Why don't you tell us about this classic from whatever
Last year.
in 1999?
Well, maybe I will this week. We're talking about the 1998/2019 classic Resident Evil 2.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're kind of doing something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the original a little bit, but for the most part, we are going to go over the story of the remake so that we are avoiding the question at the end, would I play it? You can't say maybe if there was a new remake of it.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh,
and also the cutscene movies for 2, like the original one were like 20 minutes long, and the remake ones were like an hour and a half, so I went with the remake. Anyway, so.
Remake looked way better.
It did. It had way better graphics.
One, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're going to focus on the remake, which was released January 25th, 2019, developed by Capcom and published by Capcom. It was written by, I don't have anybody here, so let's just say, I don't know, Jesus. Jesus wrote it.
He did.
How close is it to the original?
Pretty close. There's a couple differences. We'll go over that. Don't you worry, buddy.
Oh, okay. I know you're prepared. I'm not.
I have a whole list of them we'll go over. I was going to wait for the end. I mean, we can do them in the front if you want. It's your day.
No. It's yours.
How about you bring them up when they happen?
Yeah. I like that.
Ooh,
Tell us the differences.
I didn't prepare for that, but I'll give it a shot. So it was released for Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. It is a survival horror game, action adventure, and I picked it. So I will give us all the fancy game rundown. I guess recap of 1/rundown.
Yeah, go ahead. Recap.
All right. Well,
or they could just go listen to the podcast and come back.
that's right. You can go listen to Resident Evil 1. We covered that already at a previous date I don't have in front of me, so go listen to that one. So Resident Evil 2 takes place pretty much the next day or a day or two after.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
It was one of those where I was waiting for you guys to correct me if you knew for sure. But anyway, Oodles, it starts very soon after Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1, there is a zombie outbreak in an underground lab that lived underneath the mansion.
Lived the mansion?
Yeah, the lab was underneath the mansion in Resident Evil 1.
Yes.
It lived there.
Yes.
Okay.
It lived there, yes.
It's alive.
And then they accidentally spilled some virus. Zombies happened. They started creeping into the mansion and the surrounding area. So this takes place seemingly either during Resident Evil 1 or just after. I think as far as the timeline goes, it's supposed to take place a little bit after because...
Is it like a little bit after 2 hours later, or is it a little bit after like a couple days?
I think like weeks, because in Resident Evil 2, Claire Redfield is Chris's sister. She finds a letter saying that Chris went to Europe. So they might have finished that, came back, and then left, or it might have been taking place that same evening. There's probably a real answer to this. I didn't look it up.
Do they blow up the lab at the end of Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Because there's
self-destructs.
Yeah, because there's definitely a crater that they talk about in Resident Evil 2. So it has to be.
Yes, but that's a different crater where they're building the new lab. underneath Raccoon City. Resident Evil 1 took place in the mountains right next to the RK Mountains, right next to Raccoon City. This one takes place in the police station and other locations in Raccoon City.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Good
Makes
explanation.
sense.
Good rundown. Good rundown.
Yeah, you start the game. You can play as just like Resident Evil 1. You have two different, I guess, playthroughs. You can play as Leon, who is a rookie to the police force, kind of just showing up for his first day, or Claire Redfield, Chris's sister, who's looking for her brother. And then, during her playthrough, she gets pretty sidetracked.
A little bit. Like forgets he exists for a while.
Right.
And Chris and Jill were in the first one, right?
That is correct.
Jill
So we have no idea what happens to Jill.
She has no relation to anybody in this.
No, she does not.
All right.
Leon Kennedy doesn't either. He's a new character for 2.
Fair enough.
Well, you would think this would have to happen either the same night or because Jill and Chris escape.
Yes, I think it's the same night or very soon after 1 because you find journals and stuff about the zombie outbreak starting, but no one really understands it's a zombie outbreak or knows what it is. They're just like, these people are sick. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then the zombies spread from there.
It's a couple days after it happened, I think,
Okay.
right?
All right. That's what we'll go. Canon.
Maybe a week.
Plotty time canon. The only canon that matters.
Damn right. So we start the game on a truck driver for some reason who is driving, listening to terrible talk radio. He freaks out, hits it, and after he sees a person in the road.
I had a lot of Zombievers flashbacks watching this.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Maybe Zombievers stole it from Resident Evil 2. But this part wasn't even in the first one, so...
So they stole it from Zombievers is what you're saying.
They stole it from Zombievers, exactly.
All I want to say about this scene is when the guy's chewing on his hamburger, it doesn't look like he was chewing. It's bad chewing animations. That's all I'm saying.
No, but that hamburger looked delicious, though, right?
Fuck yeah. Dude.
You guys got to get out more.
We can't. Wow. But he hits this lady in the road. He's freaking out. He's like, what the fuck's going on? And the lady gets up, bites him, and he gets back in his truck and leaves. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, she just rises, and then it cuts away. But that's what happens. We'll figure it out later. So we swap over to Leon driving his vehicle into town. He stops at a gas station, just, fuel up, sees a cop car with the door open, hears a little bit of a ruckus inside, so he hops in to go investigate.
Uh-oh.
And this is where the actual playable portion of the game starts. As he walks in, he sees a guy that's bleeding all over the place. He's like, what's going on? He points to the back. He goes back there, sees a police officer wrestling with a zombie. He then gets bit. Shit goes down. Leon shoots a bunch of people.
He gets bit because Leon distracted him from what he was doing. Just saying.
Yes, this was Leon's fault. You are correct.
All right.
He's like, look, my balls. What? And he gets bit.
Exactly. That's exactly how it went down. You kind of there's a little bit of a tutorial here on how to fire your weapon and aim, and you have to unlock the door to get back into the rest of the gas station. But it's like how to use keys and that kind of video game bullshit.
Yeah, it's a good tutorial level.
Yeah, and then Leon runs through the gas station to get out, and as he's running through the door, Claire opens the other side. And this is our introduction to Claire as seen through Leon's playthrough.
All right. How does Claire end up at the gas station?
I assume by coincidence, because she was also in her playthrough, she just shows up at the gas station too, just driving into town.
Okay. That's what
it's kind of like the cutscene movie did its best to basically take each player has a run through, a main story run through, and then they have a B run through. So the B run through is pretty much exactly like the A, except items are in different locations. Some of the story's a little bit different, but for the most part, it's like A, just a little mixed up.
Okay.
And it's tough to do because most of the main story beats and the main things you do are done the same, especially the puzzles. They're the same in both playthroughs. So where the stories diverge is what characters you meet and interact with during your playthroughs.
All right.
So the movie did its best to make a single continuity playthrough,
Yeah.
But we'll cover it the best we can. So basically, in this part, you shoot a zombie that's going to attack Claire, and then you guys both fuck off in the stolen cop car to Raccoon City.
Yeah, you both leave your cars behind.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
And you take the cop car.
Yeah. Like you had the keys.
It was in the car.
Oh.
It was still running.
So their plan is to go to the police station?
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking, because something's clearly wrong. People are dead there. Claire's like, oh, my brother's at the police station. That'll be great. Yeah, let's go there.
And there's a thing on the radio that says all survivors go to police station because that's where you're supposed to meet up to get away from the zombies.
I remember, I'll tell you this part. I remember playing this game when it came out, the original one, and yes, definitely last year. That's a whole other thing I'll get into, but I remember playing it in the 90s when it came out, and I remember thinking that Claire and Leon were like fucking adults. Like old ass established people, and then you see this playthrough and you're like, Claire's a child.
Yeah. She's like,
I think she's supposed to be like 21 or 22.
yeah, she's very young.
I mean, she's a badass.
Oh yeah,
But
goes without saying.
very young. Too young. It's weird.
Stop thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm not, who is? What are you talking about?
making it
No.
All
Me?
right.
No. So, man. All right. So the credits roll. They talk a little bit in the car about that stuff. They drive into the downtown, see it overrun with zombies. So they try to get out, and then our zombified truck driver from the beginning causes a huge wreck. Cop car blows up. They both get separated, and they agree to just meet at the police station. So they both fuck off towards the police station.
They were pretty close to the police station, right? Just like 2 blocks away, 1 block.
Yeah, a block or two. This is also kind of like a little bit tutorial. Like there's a bunch of zombies around you, but they're not really. You can just run around them.
Yeah. Seemed like you could run around almost everything.
Yeah. I think you could run around things easier in this than the original one because the remake's halls are like way wider
Yeah.
and more filled in. So, yeah, you could pretty much just shoot him in the legs and run past him. But Leon eventually gets to the police station. He's able to get through the gate and close the massive gate behind him. He hops in and sees on the security camera that some officer is in the east hallway saying, hey, I got a way out and it's right here. And he holds up something. You don't know what it is. He holds up something. And then he gets bit and Leon's like, fuck, I gotta go check out this guy. You head into the east hallway and one of the most slapper moments of the game happens.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that, Sir Chump Slap?
You find the guy who was on the camera and he's trying to climb under a door. What kind of gate, I guess?
Yeah, the kind you see in police stations all the time.
Yeah.
I guess it's supposed to be like a fire safety gate or God knows what.
It's like a mall. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you come in after hours, you can't get in that way.
Yeah. So he's trying to crawl in. You're like, oh, give me your hand. You grab him, you help pull him in, and oh my God, he's getting attacked on the other side. And by the time you pull him in, he's only half the man.
Ooh.
Literally.
John Crook.
Yes. No, waist
what?
down. Gone.
Like John Crook.
So you're like, yeah, shit,
that's
you're
going to be
dead.
a fun hashtag. So you get the thing he had in his hand, which turned out to be like a little journal or like a little notepad.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't
Let's just
know.
say his cop notepad.
Yeah, the kind they used to fill out tickets and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, this is how you get out. What the fuck?
And you look at it, and it's a bunch of stupid pictures, and you're like, okay, whatever.
Just drew a
This
bunch of
guy's an
dicks on it.
asshole. Yeah, that'd be great. It's the way to get out, and it's just drawings of dicks.
I had to say something or no one would come for me.
Genius.
And the resolution's bad on the cameras, you can't tell.
So Leon gets suited up in his cop uniform, and he drops an interesting piece of information as he meets Marvin, another police officer who seems to be wounded in the station. And he says, Leon says something along the effect of, I wish I was here last week, but they called me and told me to wait another week.
That's weird.
Yeah, like apparently he was supposed to show up. They called and say, hey, why don't you give it another week there, sailor? And then...
And Marvin's like, you lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Why would they ever do that? Was it like a Lethal Weapon things? Like this guy was supposed to retire. He's stuck on for another week.
Maybe.
He's got to close this last case. It's really bugging him, and we don't have the payroll.
It's like Leon can't be here for the pizza party.
This whole part, we're kind of going through the story quickly, but there's a lot of running around the police station solving puzzles.
Yeah. Interesting police station.
Yeah.
Well, they did say in the game their excuse was it used to be a museum.
Oh, yeah, because museums have that.
That's how that works.
Museums have trapdoors, security gates, crazy statuesque puzzles.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit.
It used to be a magician's museum.
I wish I
Dude, that would have been great. That would have been such a great idea. Why aren't you writing these games, Chump Slap?
Maybe I will.
I want to win the lottery and build a house that has all these stupid traps. Like, you want to go to the bathroom?
Good luck finding it.
Find the 3 pendants that put it in the clock, and you can turn it to the right time.
And then you make one like really obvious, like, well, I know I saw this one in the clock in the living room. The other one you go to get and you run into another puzzle, like, dude, I have to shit so bad. We cannot be doing this puzzle bullshit. I believe you are on the record as saying, Dr. Syintist, that you would be a great rich person.
Yeah, that would be. That's true.
Uh-huh.
So you go back to Marvin. He's looking at the security camera, and he sees Claire on the other side of a gate.
Yeah, she's like screaming for help.
So Leon's like, I better go check that out. And as he's running that way, a helicopter crashes into the station.
Yeah. Woo. Classic video game helicopter crash.
Mark that on your bingo boards.
Yep.
Except no one lives.
Oh, true.
We're still waiting for you guys to send us the bingo board. If you need any other ideas, send us an email. We have so many ideas for spots. So Leon gets to the gate, and he meets with Claire on the other side. They have a little talk. But neither of them have a key to the gate, so Claire has to basically double back and run around.
Why couldn't she climb it?
Because this is Resident Evil and you can't do that.
I thought there was like barbed wire on top. I don't know.
Let's say there's barbed wire.
Oh, see, okay, that makes more sense.
Why didn't she take off her coat and throw it over the barbed wire?
Because she needs her coat later.
Because it's cold out.
We follow Claire a little bit. She eventually doubles back into the police station, and she sees some big guy in the security camera. And she's like, what's that all about? We'll explain later. And then she actually runs into a licker in the police station because our good enemy friends, the lickers, are back.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, what? She finds like a bottle of booze?
A big lollipop? I don't get it.
Dr. Syintist, can you explain what a licker is in this context?
It is a humanoid type zombie monster with a long tongue. Ergo, the licking.
But he can climb on ceilings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have skin.
They might have some, I guess. They don't have a dermis. How about we put it that way?
Yeah, it's like Inside Out
Perfect.
Boy.
That's why I asked scientists. Claire continues on into the basement / garage. She sees a little girl, the basement of the police station / parking garage, and sees a little girl running around.
Completely out of place.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense at all.
It's like Silent Hill 2.
I know, I thought she was a ghost at first.
So she sees her run underneath this bookcase, which is blocking a door. And Claire's like, hey, little girl, do you need help?
Wow.
And she goes,
It wasn't that creepy.
hey, little girl, you need some help? Ooh,
Is that your Michael Jackson voice?
Yeah.
ooh, Shimon. So the little girl says something that's not creepy at all on her own right, and she goes, you need help.
Yeah.
And Claire's like, what are you talking about? Behind you. And she turns around and sees...
It's fucking like Droopy Dog.
Hey, you want to do some voices, feel free.
You're
I'd
nailing
love to
it,
hear
man.
I'm trying to church this up a little bit. Bring some theatrics. It's a show, goddammit.
All right, so
So,
what's
You
mine?
gotta- all right, I like the voices, but you got to work on them a little bit.
No.
okay.
No, you don't.
So, what I'm hearing is more voices. She turns and sees a crazy mutated monster with a huge eyeball in his arm. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, man, I just wrote Big Eye Guy.
Yeah, eye monster.
Big eye guy, eye monster. This is also a sort of a boss fight. You fall down into a area that's very maze-like and filled with pipes and other kinds of boiler room bullshit. And you keep shooting this monster until eventually he just falls off the platform.
Mm-hmm.
He's
For
gone
now.
forever.
Never see
Yes.
him again.
He's like, and then falls off.
That was like Pac-Man dying. I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till I get into his voice a little bit. Claire is stuck down there. She sees a little girl. She's like, hey, little girl, can you send this ladder down? And she goes, I'll help you. If you help me find my mom.
Deal.
Claire goes, fucking fine, whatever. So Sherry mentions, my mom, she works for Umbrella. And my dad worked with my mom, but he's gone now. Sherry's like, cool story. She climbs the ladder, and they both reach the parking garage, where we meet probably the best character in the game.
Yeah, he's probably the most moral.
For sure. It is, oh, God, I don't have his name. Irons. Captain Irons?
Chief.
Chief Irons.
Okay.
He's
Real
the chief
creepy
of
guy.
police. Yeah, you don't know he's the chief of police now. He's just in a sweater.
Yeah.
And he pulls a gun on Claire, makes her, get down, put her arm behind his head. He takes Sherry. They leave, and he beats the shit out of Claire a little bit here.
Pistol
Pistol
whips
whips
her.
her,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pistol whips, yeah. And Claire says a lot of curse words. I like her moxie. And Sherry, although it's weird because in this section, Sherry seems to know this guy.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't really like him or trust him, but she seems to know him.
They go way back.
So now let's flop on over to Leon's story.
Ooh,
There's going to be a lot of this swapping back and
what's
forth.
he doing?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Sir Chump Slap. So he found the 3 pendants on the 3 statues to open the old gate or stairs or whatever the fuck it is in the main lobby to take him to the next section, which turns out to be the basement where you fight William as Leon and then get to the parking garage.
Who's William?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He's Eye Guy. I ruined that already.
We didn't
So-
know that yet
Is that after the zombie dog attacks you?
before.
Oh.
Yes, before. Also, the point of this is that Marvin's like, Leon, go save yourself. And Leon's like, no. And he's like, yeah, get out of here, kid.
It's too late for me.
Yeah, he knows he's fucked. He's already turned into a zombie. He's fighting the urges, as we say.
Like, take that juicy brain and get out of here.
I'm gonna eat it. No, get out now. So, this is part of the thing divulges because you basically have a scene in the parking garage just like with Claire, but instead of running into Irons and Sherry, you run into Ada Wong.
And a dog.
That she saves your life from. Because the dog's just about to bite your face. She shoots it.
Yes, there are a lot more dogs in Leon's playthrough than Claire's.
Is it like the dogs are in the A's and the lickers are in the B playthroughs?
No, they're both in each playthrough, but in B, the enemies are in different spots. So you may run into a liquor way earlier than you normally would, and then later in the game, you just have a couple zombies
I
running
see.
around.
They're trying to scare you more.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. So Ada is this mysterious woman in a trench coat. She says she's FBI, and she leaves, and Leon's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go with you then. And then their paths diverge. I don't know how they get diverged here.
Well, she tells you. She's like, get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
stop
here.
following me, creep.
I'm doing my
So
own thing.
the next big part of the story is Leon arrives at a cell in the basement of the police station. This part of which is not even accessible in Claire's playthrough. This is like a Leon-only thing.
Mm-hmm.
He finds a reporter who does have a name. I didn't write it down.
Joe.
Joe. So Joe's like, I got the key card and I'll let you out.
It's like, just let me out.
Just let me out. I'll get you this key card and we can both fuck off. But then some huge hands, which are to be named, I guess. I don't think we've run into...
No, you've seen him in a picture of Claire.
Right.
But
So he supposedly breaks his hands through the concrete wall of the cell and then squeezes Joe's head and pops it like a grape.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that was great. So Ada shows up and she's like, man, it sucks that guy's dead. I'm paraphrasing. Oh, sorry. Man, it sucks that guy's dead. She's Southern now.
Yeah.
And She was investigating the same thing he was investigating, supposedly, as she says.
Yeah, doesn't she say he's an informant or something for her?
Yeah. Kind of ratting on the Umbrella Corps.
Yeah. He's got some insider info.
Yeah, he found something weird, which we'll get to when we find his thing, but he's like uncovering one little piece of all the crazy shit that Umbrella's into. Anyway, you have to solve a puzzle to get the 2 parts to open the door. One of which is in the clock tower in the police station, so you have to backtrack all the fucking way back there.
Oh, that's what that was all about. I was like, why the fuck does this bell just fall for no reason?
Yeah, what a shitty clock tower. Huh?
Not a good clock tower. Museums are not known for their clock towers.
Nor are police stations.
They didn't renovate that. Like, should we fix this clock tower? It looks like this thing's about to fall. It's held up by a couple 2x4s. It's fine.
When it falls,
Fine.
it falls.
Who's going to turn the tower on?
We're cops, not engineers.
Hide one of the circles you need to get the cell downstairs open with up there.
Good idea, boss.
Where's this big gear? I think I saw it in the storage room on another floor. Fuck it. No one will find it. No one will put it together. So, you restore the power, but unfortunately, that lets in a whole bunch of zombies. And then you have to run out through the gates, past all the zombies. And, before this is where you find the recording. Sorry, I completely skipped ahead.
Well, don't you have to run away from the trench coat guy first? The big guy?
You go to the cell first. Oh, yeah, you do run away from the trench coat guy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then you get to the prisoner cell.
You do that before you get to the clock tower. On your way to the clock tower.
You just run past him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was even in this part, but I think we'll get to it. I won't ruin it yet. But, so, you find the recording, and this is where a recording of the reporter, Joe, who's he basically gets an interview with someone at Umbrella, and then starts going into, yeah, that's pretty cool how you're doing this PR thing. Anyway, what's this horrible shit about the G virus I keep hearing?
Yeah, it's a whole 20-second interview.
Yeah, it was a terrible journalist.
Yeah, it was not good. He did not have much of a sneaky game there going on. As you're leaving is when the power goes, and then all the cells just open up and zombies flood in.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Trenchcoat guy shows up and picks up Leon by his fucking neck, is about to murder him, and then what happens, Chump Slap?
Oh my god, Ada just comes in, fucking floors a Bronco-like car.
It was weird that she was just sitting in the driver's seat waiting.
I think she was sitting there the whole time after she told you to leave.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just going to sit here.
He won't find me.
He's got to get the key and come back here anyway. So you smash him into a wall, and then I think she blows up the car with some C4 or something.
Yeah, it definitely blows up. It might just be video game cars blowing up.
Nah, I'm pretty sure she flicks a button.
Yeah, all
right.
She gives something, yeah.
Basically, Leon gives her the tape because she's FBI. Wink, wink. And then they both leave the parking garage to continue on their journey.
Yep.
Journey into the town full of zombies.
Exactly. Man, there's a lot more story we got.
Yeah, there is.
All right, we'll try to speed it up a little bit. So,
We'll see what goes. Editing magic, you can cut out parts.
Yeah.
So they get to the street, and they're like, well, we need to cut through this gun store.
Because
And then
the
we have
road's
a
out.
weird
Yeah.
moment in this game. Now, I do remember in that, I think there's a gun upgrade in there, and I think there's a bunch of ammo you can grab.
Yeah, is this part of the story at all?
I remember this part, though. Wasn't it the first one?
I don't think it might have been.
I think it was.
I think it was, because it's not on my list of things that were not. But basically, you go into the store, you find the shop owner. The shop owner, his daughter is bit. Like, she's getting there to being a zombie. And Ada's about to shoot him. And he's like, rah, rah, and they all pull shotguns and have a standoff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leon's just like, dude, just let him go. And then there's an actual serious moment about how, like, how did you guys let this happen? You're supposed to be cops. How could this happen? Blah, 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 blah. And then he takes his daughter in the other room. You guys walk out the door and you just hear a gunshot.
Yeah, this was completely unnecessary for the story, right?
They had to show you what it's doing to families.
The emotional toll.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. There was no other reason to really have this. It's not like this guy worked for Umbrella and this was a story
That you
point.
knew of.
Yeah. He was just a
Touché.
poor gun shop owner.
They got the whole town under him. Flip back to Claire.
Ooh.
She's in what looks like some kind of taxidermy room, which turns out to be Chief Irons' office. Phone rings, and she picks it up, and it's Chief Irons.
Yeah.
Wow, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says something along the lines of, if Sherry just didn't drop that damn thing. And he talks a bunch of shit, and he basically wants you to come to the orphanage because he needs Sherry's pendant.
Yes.
So where do we cut to then?
We get a section that was in the first game but was very different, where you get to play as Sherry. Syintist, how about you lead us through the Sherry segment?
She's locked in a room and she sneaks around and escapes.
Mm-hmm.
And all I wrote down was that Sherry's in the room, she escapes, and the Eye Monster kills Chief Irons.
She throws acid at Iron's face first because there was a dead girl on a table.
I thought it was a mannequin.
Oh, was it?
I
it was
think
a dead
it was a
girl.
mannequin. He's doing something weird with mannequins.
He's
Yeah.
doing something weird at an orphanage.
Yeah. But she's the only one there.
I don't think it was a mannequin, man.
You do find some like text files that say what happens to the kids. Basically, there was a bunch of kids. One of them left to go. The way they implied it is they made it sound like these were all going to be test subjects, these children,
Yeah.
which is pretty fucked up. So one of the kids went and got tested on, came back, but was infected. And they're like, well, all these test subjects are, compromised, so they just murdered them all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then disinfected the place and said, well, we'll start again later.
And Irons just locks Sherry up in a room there.
Yep, pretty much. But it's like a stealth hiding section. You get to the other end. Eventually, Irons catches you. But yeah, like you said, Eye Guy shows up.
Shit, yeah, he
He
does.
just rips him apart. Rah!
He like dumps some kind of parasite or something into the guy's mouth.
Yeah, it was
Very
like a worm.
alien-like, yeah.
Just like shot out of him right into his mouth.
Super hot.
Yeah. Then it burst out his gut later.
So now back with Leon and Ada. You're descending into the sewers. And basically Ada opens up a little bit. She says she's after the virus. And Annette Birkin, who is a scientist that she believes unleashed the virus.
Gotta
You
find
learn a
her.
little. Yep, you got to find her. She does a little bit of backstory about how Umbrella controls the whole city and built this massive underground facility without anyone noticing. Which I guess they did have some text files and stuff where they were talking about the big hole in the ground in the middle of the city,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Then a big sewer gator attacks.
Does that happen in the first one?
It does, but in the first one, it's a boss fight.
Ah.
In this one, you just run away from it. The alligator takes a huge chomp out of a gas line.
And somehow blows up.
Well, you shoot it.
Oh, do
You
you?
shoot it and it blows up,
Okay.
It doesn't affect you, though.
No.
which would have been a much larger explosion if it was an active gas line. But, I guess we shouldn't split hairs, right?
No. It's a video game.
But as they continue on, they find Annette and they demand that she hand over the virus. She basically does the classic move, the chump slap runaway is what I call it. And she lights the closest person to her on fire and runs and then shoots at you.
Damn.
Classic chump slap runaway.
That is something I would do.
And Leon.
Like, I don't want to talk to it. Fire. Bam, bam, bam. Run.
And Leon takes a bullet for Ada here. He jumps in front of it.
Makes him even.
Yep. Well, he still owes her one.
Yeah.
So this is where we now switch over and you play as Ada Wong. So there's each playthrough. One of them you play as Sherry. One of them you play as Ada. And she radios somebody as Leon's passed out, and she's like, the virus must be in the nest.
Ah, yes.
Back to Claire.
Oh, what's she doing? She's going to the orphanage, maybe?
I think she might be.
With a pendant?
The way, yeah.
Yeah, she has no idea what the pendant is, why he needs it or anything. Because Irons just said, if you want to save Sherry, come to the orphanage.
Exactly.
So she's fucking off to the orphanage. She arrives there. She meets Irons, and what happens, Dr. Chump, Syintist, Slump Slap, somebody else? What happens?
Oh, what happens? A big alien-like creature busts out of his chest.
That's what I was trying to do. I just wrote creep goes all aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
And then she finds Sherry.
And then who shows up?
Drench.
Can we start calling him by his real name?
Who is it?
Doesn't he just call Mr. X?
No, Trenchcoat Man is, yes, he's Mr. X.
Oh, I like Trench better.
Yeah. But he shows up and gets ripped apart by the eye guy,
Yes. In this playthrough, yes, that is correct.
which confused me for a lot of stuff later.
Yeah. Were there more than one Mr. X's? That's what I had. That's my question.
No, but he does mutate.
Does he keep coming back? Because he dies here, and then you got to fight him again later.
Yes, because, okay. We'll get to it closer to the end,
Okay.
but
Alright, so he's
essentially,
dead.
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, he was dead right here. This is also part of the Claire B playthrough run. I think he dies the same way in A. Which is odd. I don't remember because I just played it. Anyway, so Trench gets stabbed by Eye Guy and dies. And
He
then,
gets more than stabbed. He gets disemboweled.
Yeah. He gets fucked up.
like 60% of his torso is now on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So they fall down this elevator shaft they were escaping with, and Claire's unconscious, and she wakes up to Annette checking on her.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you're not a zombie. All right, cool."
And this is a pretty interesting thing because Annette, in the story, Annette's in both ones. She's in both playthroughs with each character. But in Leon's, she's very much she's still manic like this, but she seems to be someone who's righting a wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, in Leon's, she seems like an asshole. In Claire's, she seems to be someone who's trying to fix this.
Well, that's because she's Sherry's mom.
Right.
This is where she tells you.
And then I don't know if she took Sherry here or Sherry just ran off.
Sherry collapses.
Yeah. Annette has her, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then later we find that she put her, I don't know if she was infected here or if mom infected her or what happened, but she does become infected.
I think she was infected the whole time.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be too. But you're running around as Claire, going through trying to find Sherry, and you come to this section where you see Annette talking to Sherry, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was like through a camera on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sherry in this part is in a trash compactor, which does come back in Leon's story. Ada has to escape from it.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I mean, she's like
a trash
dropping-
compactor.
Yeah.
But what happens that interrupts all of this, Chump Slap?
Eye guy comes back,
Yeah, he sure does. Burst down from the ceiling for some reason.
and I think we find out who he is here. Right?
Do we? I don't know.
I don't know.
It turns out his name is William Birkin, who is Annette's husband.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely calls him William, and Sherry called him Dad earlier. So
And Annette's trying to stop him.
yeah,
Yes, that turns out, we find out that's Annette's motivation, is to stop William before he gets out into the world, basically. She doesn't really care about the virus, I guess, or the fact that, the town's now all zombified. She's like, but William can't get out.
Yes, if we stop William, we stop the virus.
No, William's a little bit more terrible than the zombie guys.
Yeah, the zombies are just zombies. This guy's fucking mutating.
Sure. But then you also have the Tyrant, a.k.a. Trenchcoat, a.k.a. Mr. X.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not good news outside.
No.
Anyway, Annette and Claire argue. Annette says, we can treat her in the lab. So she picks up Claire and they run towards the cable car.
Picks up Sherry.
Yeah,
Sherry, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
She does not pick up Annette.
Annette says something like she's implanted in this section.
Yeah. And it's too late to save her, but you could take her to the lab and try anyway.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
She says something like, "You're her mom. Shouldn't you make a fucking effort here?" And she's like, "Well, I guess we can maybe take her."
Well,
to
maybe at the lab, but I'm busy.
Does it look like the lab?
So now we're playing as Ada, and you continue to solve puzzles and shit. This is where the story gets a little weird because you run into the tyrant because it's a different playthrough, or the trench, I should say. You run away. You escape through a big industrial fan. You have to solve your puzzle way out of an incinerator that Annette tries to kill you with.
Yeah.
And Annette's very different in this playthrough. She's very evil, and she's like, I'm going to kill you, lady. You're never going to get the G virus.
She might be knowing what Ada's trying to do.
Yeah, she definitely has like a little clue that Ada wants the virus, and
she's FBI, wink, wink.
And Annette wants to get rid of the virus, right?
Yeah.
She's like, you can't take this virus out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And this is where you start thinking, is Ada really who she says she is? Obviously, she's not. It's pretty clear she's not.
I thought it was a big reveal to me.
Okay.
I just assume everybody in a video game who says they're FBI isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're wearing the suit, right? Then we all know they're FBI. But you continue on as Ada. You find Annette again as you try to cross a platform. And Ada accuses Annette of killing her husband, William. And Ada tells her if you don't cooperate, she'll get the sample from the lab herself.
No, you won't.
You don't have the balls, Ada.
So Annette's like, fine, fuck you. Knocks her off a platform. And Ada falls to the ground with some like wood shard jammed in her thigh, I guess. She's pretty jacked up.
It looked painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good times. But this gives us a chance to go back and play as Leon as he comes to consciousness.
Yeah, his gunshot's okay. He can do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody bandaged it while he was
Yeah,
out.
they bandaged up my gunshot. I took a little nap, and I'm good as new.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some plants and get better.
The green ones.
The green ones, yes.
Mix some red in.
Yeah, you can combine the 3 types of plants. Purple, which is good for poison, if you get poisoned.
Obviously.
Red is nothing unless it's mixed with something else will make it stronger. And then green is just straight up health.
Yeah, I remember that.
Classic.
That's in all of the Resident Evil. I think that's even makes its way to 7.
Probably. Well, it's the same plant, same world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't change it.
That's a good point. So you continue looking for Ada. You see her on the other side of a platform, but you need to puzzle your way over there. So there's a mechanic where Leon's finding like VHS tapes around.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them were found in Claire's playthrough except for the one big revealing one.
Yeah.
So he basically just sees rats around it and like, maybe the rats spread it around. As if we cared about why people are zombies. But then you flip back.
Oh, you're back to Claire.
Now you're Claire, taking the Underground Railroad car to the lab to Nest, which I don't remember what that stands for, but that's the code name they give the lab, with Sherry, and they have a little moment, I guess you could say. Sherry's not looking good here.
No,
at this
her
point.
eyeball's getting weird.
Yeah, really weird. It may move down to her bicep.
Probably will.
Who knows? But you show up at the lab. The first thing you do is put Sherry on a bed, and then you have to go through the lab, find a bunch of bullshit, and create the cure, basically.
Yes.
Lots of puzzling.
Well, don't you need... Is this where you
puzzling.
find out that you need the pendant for the cure? Doesn't the pendant open a door, like open a safe or something?
I don't remember, because I think in one of the playthroughs, the pendant has a sample of the virus in it. So that's why Irons wanted it, to secure the piece of the G virus.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's how it gets out at the end.
That makes sense. All right.
Now, going back as Leon, you find Ada all jacked up. You help her up, and the plan is to get to Nest.
Huh.
So they can get the virus.
Via the same cable car?
The exact same one. Because, different playthrough. So there
Well,
was...
you call it back.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Gotcha.
Like, who gets there first?
Obviously, Claire in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But from here on out, I thought it was a neat idea that they have like they have a wristband with their clearance level on it.
Yeah.
And when you are playing through the game, part of the puzzles are getting like level 2 access, level 3, level 4.
Much like Control.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Not a new thing in video games, but it's still pretty effective. Fits in the world of the lab, I should say.
Yeah, that it does.
And while they're riding the tram over, what happens, Poppascotch?
Right. While we're riding the tram, what does happen? Oh, that happened. So they get to the cable car. Ada's still jacked up, so he's like, "You go get the sample. I'll stay here because I'm fucked up." And she's like, "Then we can make sure this never happens to anyone again." And then she kisses him
Oh, okay.
out of like nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of a little weird.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
She must be. It's
She
part
just
of her Black
wants
Ops
to make
training.
sure he gets it back to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
It's like, don't change your mind down there, sweet
Devil
cheeks.
woman.
Now you got something else to come back for, sailor.
Yeah.
So she gives Leon the bracelet and continues. So Leon arrives in the lab. He sees that plants have taken over the main room.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where he finds the VHS tape. And,
A good one.
well, what do they show in this VHS tape, Dr. Syintist?
I guess William Birkin standing there with a bunch of the virus, like some samples of something. And long story short, he gets shot by a bunch of Black Ops guys.
For sure, he will not give up the virus. And he pulls a gun on him, which is not a great idea.
No, that's kind of dumb.
It's not smart, yeah. Especially if there's multiple.
Yeah. And then they kill him, and then, well, they shoot him a lot. And we were supposed to kick him alive. Ah, well, just grab the virus. Let's go.
Yeah, that was pretty great. We were supposed to take him alive. What's wrong with you? It's like, well, we got the virus. Subject's dead. Okay, cool. Coming back. So you keep going on, and eventually you go through a bunch of puzzles and a bunch of sections, and you get the sample. If I remember correctly, you have to get the, like, it's a, what do they call it? Like a syringe type holder? A vial, I should say.
Yeah.
That's not a syringe holder
A
at
vial.
all.
No,
Well, it's
that's
a
not.
vial.
It's the middle of the syringe, that part. Words are hard. So you get the vial. You have to go fill it with the correct mix for the sample. Then you have to go to the cold storage area and freeze it. Then you can actually bring it back.
Yes. Obviously. You knew this as a cop.
Yeah.
Right, of course. So as you're leaving, the facility realizes the virus is leaving and starts the self-destruct sequence.
Oh, that's another one on your bingo card.
Yes, but this is probably one of the very few cases where I actually understand why there'd be a self-destruct sequence.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, but it still gives the person who stole the virus enough time to get out with the virus. So
Yes, that is also a very good point.
Oh, you're leaving with the virus? Well, you got half an hour, buddy, before the whole thing blows
better
up.
get out of here.
And who else is in that thing like, what's going on? What's that all about? Oh, I better leave. If it was serious high-stakes stuff, they'd just blow it up right away.
Exactly.
You better come back or else this place is going to blow up.
So you continue on as Leon, and you see William blocking the platform, and Annette just shows up out of nowhere and shoots him with an acid round is what it is. It just looks like a bunch of water,
Oh,
but it's acid.
okay.
It's acid.
I thought it was like some type of antivirus.
Yeah, I just thought it was some kind of G-virus suppressant.
Yeah.
So Annette explains in a flashback now that William took the serum as he was dying after those gunshots. And then he turned into this monster. So then he shows back up as the monster, and Leon boss fights it and kills it.
Not before William smashes Annette into a wall.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, that is-
Finally.
I forgot about that part.
Huge domestic violence.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
This is where in my notes I just started calling people by the initial.
Oh, yeah.
And I starts getting a little confused between A's and A's. A and that. All right. B kills A.
You kill him. And Claire and Leon's playthrough, you both have this boss fight and kill him.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that.
So Claire leaves. She gets back to Sherry, and she finds Annette lying there. Annette's pretty jacked up.
Because she got hit into a wall by
Yeah.
Right.
Birkin.
And then she was able to cure Sherry with the serum?
Yeah.
The syringe thingy.
Yeah, the middle of the syringe vial.
The vial. Gotcha.
And then Annette passes out and dies saying, take care of Sherry and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it's self-destruct.
Yeah.
In the middle of self-destruct, right, yes. And Sherry says, "I'm lucky to have you," to Claire, which I thought was odd. Usually the snot-nosed kids aren't that appreciative, but...
Well, this one's been through a lot.
Yeah, her dad's a monster and her mom's a...
Monster. Oh.
Ooh.
The humans are the
figurative and literal monsters.
Exactly.
So
So get to the central elevator, to the train.
Yeah. You got plenty of time. The self-destruct's made so you can get out of here.
So you and Claire and Sherry fight some plant monsters as they're running. They get to the car. Sherry stays on board, and Claire's like, I got to go start this thing up. So she takes this plug, goes outside, starts it on.
21-year-old's going to know how to start trains.
She just knows that the plug is in the train and needs to go outside the train.
Yeah, there's a note next to it. You didn't see that part.
So she plugs it in. The train fires up. And then this is where it gets a little confusing at the end because Leon and Ada are making their way to the central elevator. This is more Leon's story of how Annette, because Annette's back even though she's dead. A little confusing, but in Leon's playthrough, Annette shows up and is like, hey, that's that lady right there. She's not FBI.
Yeah.
And then Ada pulls a gun on Leon.
She's like, why'd you have to ask? Should have just gave me the fucking virus, dude.
You couldn't just shut up. You had to keep asking questions.
Yeah, they talk a little bit. Leon drops his gun. He's like, there's no way you'll shoot me. I know you love me. Because you kissed me on that train. No way are you going to do it. And then she gets... And then what happens after that? I don't even remember. What happens, Dr. Simon?
Annette,
Shit! Annette shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, because I have Annette dies again.
Yeah. Yes. And then so Annette shoots her, and Ada Wong, she's fallen off the platform. Leon tries to save her, but he just can't do it, and she falls.
And she dropped the sample, too, right?
Yeah, so the sample's still not going to leave the plant.
Yeah. Definitely fell to the ground.
So Leon gets on the central elevator. He leaves. And as he's running away during the self-destruct, he sees a screen and tries to contact, like, him and Claire are talking to each other, but it ends up breaking up, and they can't really get much done. Just something along the lines of, the train's here, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So Leon's running through a bunch of tunnels that are on fire, runs into the Tyrant again, because in Leon's playthrough, the Tyrant wasn't murdered.
Why does he have a big flaming arm now?
Yeah.
Because in Leon's playthrough, I think it's a different boss fight. You kill William there, and then at the end of this, he comes back. Okay, in Claire's B playthrough, you kill William in the boss fight when Annette showed up, and he's laying on the ground. You think he's dead, and then he comes back at the end and attacks the train car.
Yeah.
In Leon's playthrough, you kill William, he's dead, and then the Tyrant has mutated and comes back on the elevator thing.
Oh, so the Tyrant like got the virus and injected himself or whatever. Maybe.
Possibly. He just comes back. He's mutated.
Okay.
He's all fucked up. Trench, as we say.
Yes.
So, Jesus, we're almost done here, guys. Stick with us. They talk to each other. Tyrant comes. You kill it on the big, like, one of those classic video game elevators that go, like, sideways for some reason.
I know. Those are coolest elevators.
I know. I wish I saw one.
And they're, like, big enough to put, like, 4 cars on.
I wish I had one.
Yeah, they go up in like they kind of like in Pittsburgh where you can ride up the mountain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you're fighting him here, someone gives you an anti-tank launcher.
I thought it just showed up.
It like flies down, and then someone says, now we're even.
And who was that someone?
I thought it was Ada.
No, maybe. I thought she was dead.
So did I.
I should have replayed Leon's playthrough. That would have made more sense.
It was either Ada or Annette. I don't know.
I just thought it fell off of something. I didn't know someone said
No,
it.
someone threw it to you.
Okay.
In Claire's playthrough, when you turn on the train, you find a minigun, and you're able to use the minigun in the boss fight.
Yeah.
I guess in Leon, someone throws down the thing. We'll probably save that for the correction crevice. Now we have something to talk about. Let's just say Bob Hope threw it down.
Bob Hope's dead.
It definitely looked like somebody with like tank top on, because there's like an over the shoulder view.
Triple H.
That's all I remember, because I rewound it and I was like, who the fuck was that?
Anyway, so then
I don't know.
Claire fights and kills William, I believe, super mutated William again in the elevator. As the train is going down a level, they speed away in the train car. Leon jumps off as it's exploding, and he says something lame along, all right, you know what? It's crazy. I actually miss her, referring to Ada Wong.
Yeah.
His lifelong love he met.
Yeah. He's so pussy whipped already.
Yeah, it's weird.
She kissed me.
It's his first kiss ever. We saw it on film.
And then we get the second to last sequence where a big giant monster attacks the train car. You kill it, disconnect the car it's on, and then they eventually get off.
Yeah, big bad Birkin, I put.
Yeah, what makes you think he's going to die that time?
And why do monsters always have eyes with teeth around them? What is that going to do?
Yeah, why do they need to open their mouth to see? That seems like a design flaw.
Yeah, and if you're trying to eat, you're just going to get food in your eye.
Oh, that's part of the G virus.
Yep, no reason. So, no reason at all. That's it. That's the game. At the end, you three of you reach daylight. A trucker flips you off.
This was also reminiscent of Zombievers.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the stuff he's listening to on the radio alludes to the fact that it doesn't seem like the disease has gotten out, like spread anywhere.
And then the biggest reveal of all. They say this is a weird Wednesday or something like that. It's like the last thing they say.
Yeah, like, oh, we just met last night.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this all happened on a Tuesday. Crazy.
All right, well, there were some differences between this game and the original 1998 game. One of the big ones is the existence of Mr. X / Trench. He was in the original one, but for the most part, you could shoot him. He'd like fall to the ground and die, and then he'd eventually just get up later. He wasn't as incessant and
Impossible to
unrelenting.
kill.
Yeah, he wasn't impossible to kill in the first one, which was pretty cool. I thought that added a lot to it. In the new one, the zombies will follow you outside of a room and just keep following you. It's not like in the original one, you can just go into another room and then they're all gone.
Sounds frustrating.
There's also a neat effect in the original game where there were certain things and power-ups and stuff you could pick up in your first playthrough, where if you did, they would not be there for the other character in their first playthrough.
I like when games do that.
That's pretty cool.
But they didn't do that in the new one?
So if you went to They did not do that in the new one. They were all completely different. A lot of items just spawned randomly. And there's also no real difficulty selector. It just kind of scales to you.
So if you're good, it's harder, and if you're bad, it's...
Well, I should say there is difficulties, but there are difficulty tiers you can select, but all the item spawns are completely random, and they seem to be what you're using. Like, because I was using the handgun for a lot of this because I wanted to save all my special ammo, so I just kept getting handgun ammo.
That's like smart ammo drops.
Yeah, and there's also, in the new game, sub-weapons. You can equip the knife, and instead of holding...
Like a bayonet?
No, it's just like a combat knife.
Oh, okay.
Where you can set it as your sub-weapon, or you can set a flashbang grenade or a frag grenade. And you could, instead of pressing, you'd press L2 to aim your gun, you'd press L1 to ready your sub-weapon, and then R2 to throw it. You could also, if you were getting eaten by a zombie, you could hit your sub-weapon button if something's equipped and stab them in the neck with the knife or shove a grenade in their face.
Okay.
As a way of getting away. There's a couple other changes, none of them really big, except, really, Claire doesn't have her bow gun in this. She did in the original one, and some of the enemies were different. There was no moth boss in this game, because at some point a moth gets infected and you have to boss fight it. In the original, and there's no large spiders to fight like there were in Resident Evil 1 or the original.
You missed that one on the bingo board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spider enemies.
Spider Boss. You missed Spider Boss. Story differences, they were mostly the same, except the orphanage was never a part of Claire's campaign in the original part. You did play as Sherry, but it was a much different sequence. And Ada Wong's motivations and backstory were completely different.
What were they in the first one?
Jesus, I should have probably wrote this down. I think she was like a corporate spy. She wasn't
some...
Who did she work for in this one? Did they let you know?
She was a mercenary, I thought.
Yeah, they don't really tell you. And she is a very iconic person in the Resident Evil series.
Yeah, I know the name. Well,
Everyone knows the name. Everyone knows her, but this is it. This is the only... She's dead. She does not come back in a later game.
Really?
Is she Ellie Larder in the movies?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
No, I think Ali Larder is... No. Shit, I'll have to look it up.
It's not that important. I just watched the movies and I don't remember.
Yeah. really stuck out in your head.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the game. Ooh, that was a lot of me talking. So,
Don't you love it?
Yeah, I like it because I could kind of half-ass the movies I don't pick.
man, I should start doing that. So, while we're talking here, let's start. We'll go over our final thoughts. And let's start with you, Dr. Syintist. Final thoughts. Would you play it? Would you score it? Did the story work for you?
Would I play it? Well, I don't like survival horror, and I don't like third-person and OTS games. Unless there's something special like Dead Space, so I probably wouldn't play it. I'd probably download it if it was free and then delete it.
It is something special, though.
Did the story work for me? It's kind of just two people going through stupid puzzles in an area that shouldn't have puzzles. And they get sidetracked in a corporate espionage thing or some little pedophile kidnapping girls. It's kind of meh.
Oh.
I didn't think it was
So it didn't really work.
interesting. Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was better than a lot of other Poppascotch picks.
All right, I'll take that.
I gave it 7 stars out of 27.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
That's not that bad. I mean, it's tied with Brutal Legend for me.
Come on. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and move over to you, Sir Chump Slap. Would you play it? Would you play it? Would you score it? Did the story work for you?
Wow, very novel questions. Would I play it? Yeah, I would have until I watched the video. I mean, I was going to buy it if it was cheaper than it's been.
Fair.
I mean, it's on a lot of sales, but I'm just
Yeah, it's that kind of sale where you're like,
just not cheap enough. Yeah, exactly. The story, I like the story. I guess kind of makes sense. You're just trying to get to the police station just to survive.
It's just a bad coincidence.
And then you're like, oh, I guess I'll help this FBI agent out. Or I guess I'll help this little girl. And then you just get sucked into craziness you didn't even know existed that lurks just beneath the surface of the city.
Oh,
Ooh,
like Tremors.
nice.
Yeah.
Just like,
Just like it.
or Chud.
And the graphics look amazing on the fucking remake. It's very moody. I like the lighting and everything. So I'll say the story worked for me. I like zombie shoot 'em ups. It's fun, even though this one didn't seem like you shot much up. You were more running away from shit. So, what's it out of 27 stars?
Yeah.
Yep, just like every other week.
No different this week.
I'll give it a 13
Ooh.
because it was interesting to watch and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think I
Great.
played it, the original one.
I definitely did not.
I definitely didn't finish it. Classic.
I remember buying it very close to when it came out and playing it through very quickly. And that, if it was right when it came out, that was 22 years ago.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Jesus. I shouldn't have been playing that game probably.
You were not 17 or older.
No, I definitely was not.
Were there even ratings on games back then?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've been
Sure.
around for a while.
Were they?
98?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, that's my score. So I'm going to shoot it on over to you, Scotchy.
All right.
Would you play it again? Would you score it? Did the story work for you this time?
Thanks for asking, Chump Slap. Would I play it? Yeah, I'd play it again. I'm excited to play the Resident Evil 3 remake in this style just came out, and I'm very excited to play that. But also, I will not spend $60 on that game because that's a lot for a 6 to 8 hour campaign that I would just be replaying. Would I play it again? I'd like to play. I haven't played the B playthroughs. I wouldn't mind doing that and seeing how they're different. So yes, I would play it again for sure. Did the story work for me? I mean, the game itself, the graphics were great. It played really great. It was fun. But the story, Resident Evil always does this with all their games. They start in a place of reality, like it was in the mansion, or it was the police station during a zombie apocalypse. I guess it's not exactly reality with the zombies. But then they always devolve into some kind of crazy fucking story.
That's the best
Resident Evil 2, like, if you start Resident Evil 2 and you're like, I'm in the police station, I'm doing a lot in this police station. Maybe I'll leave this police station, maybe I won't. But you never think, oh, I'll be in an underground lab riding a tram, fighting plant monsters. You know, I always have an issue with those with Resident Evil games. But, I mean, overall, I'll say the story worked, but just barely. Because, like, Leon's motivations are weird. How he just sees Ada and is like, I have to help this mysterious woman.
She kissed me, I'm in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he sees her as the only other survivor besides himself, and he's like, I guess we should team up. I get that. But then she's like, I need to get the sample. Why do you need the sample? Don't even worry about it. Mwah. Go get me that sample.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, ma'am.
He never thinks to like look for Claire again through the rest of the story?
He never looks for Claire. They never look for each other at all. Like, she never goes like, shit, I gotta make sure Leon's still alive.
They just end up in the same room.
Yeah.
Right, they just assume the other one's dead and keep going. So that's always fun. And then, so I mean, overall, I'd say the story worked for me, but just barely. What I score it, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a 15.
Oh, thank God it was higher than mine.
Yeah, I had to because Resident Evil 1, I think the remake of Resident Evil 2 was really great. I think it's the way you should do a remake.
Yeah.
Because it was modern, it was fun to play, but it still held a lot of the old school feel to it. And it felt awesome being back in that police station, which I've seen so many times in so many playthroughs of Resident Evil 2. So, I think overall, I liked it. I would play it again. Good game.
35.
That's all I had to say.
All right. Not bad score for a 20-some-year-old game.
No. Still, but on our list, not as good as Dante's Inferno at a 39. Or Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, Neo, and Enslaved at 38.
Fair enough.
Didn't we do Silent Hill 2 this year?
We did Silent Hill 2. That was a 41.
Oh, damn.
That was our highest rated game so far this year was Prey at 50.
All right. Cool.
All right. That's the game.
Great. So then that's going to go ahead and take us to our favorite segment of every week, which is Syintist, Tom Hanks' vehicle lock of the week. Every week we ask Dr. Oh, we're still going. Okay. It's a locking train. Every week we ask Dr. Syintist for a Tom Hanks content recommendation, and he nails it every week. They're always amazing. So this week, Dr. Syintist, what do you got?
Well, it's the most Resident Evil Tom Hanks movie I could think of, and one of my all-time top 5 Tom Hanks movies. I want to see how Chump Slap's thinking. I want to see if you think what's the most Resident Evil movie that Tom Hanks was in.
I know what it is, but I don't want to ruin the reveal.
It was my quote from earlier in the episode.
I have no idea.
The classic I watched today that I didn't mention, Dragnet.
Oh,
so nice.
Good.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Really?
No.
You mean
I was thinking the one Tom Hanks movie he did that was almost horror movie.
Oh, no. He's a cop. That's almost exactly like Resident Evil 2.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking The Burbs.
No.
Oh, no, I was thinking Volunteers.
Nope. It's definitely Dragnet.
Okay.
You should watch it. It's a great movie.
It's fucking amazing.
Did you ever see, I think I sent it to you guys, the rap video of Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
They made for Dragnet?
It's during the credit sequence.
Yeah. I watched it right before I came here when I was playing.
It's so bad.
Yeah. You mean the Virgin Connie's Whale. Dun, 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 dun. It's so good.
Any hoodles, that'll take us to our favorite segment of every week, which is Chump Slaps. Fuck, marry, kill. Every week, Dr. Scientist and I pick 3 characters from the video game we just watched, and Chump Slap has to decide which one he's going to have sex with, which one he's going to marry, and which one he's going to murder.
Well, I feel like painting him in the corner with this one.
Now, Dr. Scientist, I don't remember who's up.
I don't either.
Fuck.
What was last week's game?
Enslaved.
Let's figure this out. Last week was Enslaved, and I know you picked Pigsy.
Yeah.
And the randoms. Okay, so it's me. It's my turn to pick 2.
Yep.
All right, so this week we're going to pick 2 characters. We're going to pick Police Chief Irons.
Ooh, okay.
And then I will go. Yeah, well, let's throw you a bone here. We're going to pick Ada Wong. Ada Wong, Police Chief Irons, Dr. Scientist. Who's your pick?
I so badly want to pick Sherry because he has to
come
kill
on.
her.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, no kids in our picks.
No kids or dogs, we said.
Monsters are fine.
Yeah.
Kids and dogs,
So
absolutely
it's
not.
Chief Irons, Ada Wong, and let's say... this is tough.
William in his final form.
I was thinking that. But we might just go with Mr. X.
Mr. Agnite Trench.
Ooh, nice. I think my favorite pick of yours is when you picked oh god, what was that game? The shitty dinosaur hunter, Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Yeah.
And you picked all of whatever company they were. But I would marry all of B Company.
All right, so
Mr. X, Chief Irons, Ada Wong.
well, obviously Ada Wong gets the
slapper.
Yes. Ada Wong is my slapper of the whatever. So I have sex with Ada Wong. I would kill Chief Irons.
He's kind of a dick.
He's so
see that.
fucking creepy. And I would marry Trench because he's a big, strong man, and I think he could.
He could reach stuff on shelves you couldn't reach.
Yeah, he can reach stuff through fucking concrete walls I couldn't reach.
You have basically the same size head.
Yeah, we could share hats.
Oh, fantastic. So that again is fuck Ada Wong, murder Police Chief Irons,
Correctamundo.
marry Mr. X.
Yep. Chump Slap
Perfect.
Mr. X.
So let's say people put together a whole bunch of fanfic of Mr. X and Chump Slap driving around the country in a van solving mysteries. And they wanted approval from the source. Where would they send that email to, Sir Chump Slap?
You can send it to plottytime@gmail.com.
Perfect. And let's say they wanted to get to us on the socials a lot faster about why Chief Irons was the one you should be screwing. Where would they do that, Dr. Scientist?
At Plotty Time on Instagram and Twitter.
Perfect. Well, that does it for us. So, I don't know, get out there, play some games, be awesome, and don't trust Dr. Scientist.
Don't go out there. Stay home.
And trust other scientists.
Just not this
Peace.
one. See ya.